Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Lena. Don't forget to subscribe and give this episode a thumbs up if you haven't already. Once a proud advocate of polygamy and a star of Sister Wives, Robyn Brown has undergone a dramatic transformation. Gone are the days of championing plural marriage. She has now fully embraced monogamy, settling into a traditional married life with none other than Kody Brown. These days, Robyn seems to have seamlessly stepped into the role of the quintessential tradwife. She spends her days in their lavish $2.1 million mansion, surrounded by children and an ever-growing collection of dolls. Wearing muted purple florals and relishing her stay-at-home mom lifestyle, she and Kody even sport matching David Yurman rings, solidifying their exclusive bond. It's quite the shift for someone who once passionately supported polygamy. Now, there's no mistaking it. Robyn is deeply invested in her monogamous relationship with Kody. Of course, no marriage is perfect. She has even admitted that Kody has a knack for picking fights over nothing. Her style, her demeanor, it all reflects a strikingly traditional aesthetic, almost reminiscent of a bygone era. The passive-aggressive undertones she once displayed have faded, replaced by a more direct stance. At one point, she even made it clear that she would feel disrespected if Kody took on another wife. It's an attitude that aligns closely with the idealized 1950s housewife, a role that some women still long for, despite the era's oppressive social structures. But history tells us that this way of life didn't last forever. The restrictions of that time, rooted in strict gender roles, racism, and homophobia, sparked a cultural revolution. The flower power movement pushed back against the Leave It to Beaver ideal, ushering in a new era of self-expression and rebellion. Yet, for some, nostalgia for the past remains strong. Even today, some women strive to recreate that picture-perfect 1950s lifestyle, renovating their homes to reflect the era, preparing extravagant dinner party staples like oysters Rockefeller and ham jello salad, and mixing up classic cocktails for their husbands who might fancy themselves the modern-day Don Draper. And speaking of Mad Men, the first season of the show was set in 1960, a time when everything seemed on the verge of change. But what about Kody? Could he be a trad husband? Perhaps. But there are complexities. Robyn has confessed that no one has ever made her feel the way Kody does. And while he may not have Don Draper's slicked-back charm, his loyalty to his family is undeniable, despite past controversies. As the once proud leader of the Sister Wives household, Kody still exhibits flashes of that patriarchal mindset, shaped by his polygamous upbringing. And yet, when it comes to Robyn, there's no question. She is the wife. His devotion is clear, evident in the way he proudly showcases the matching ring that binds them. But is this truly the happily ever after they envisioned? Or is there more beneath the surface? A soulful and feminine partner, often seen with tears in her eyes, Robyn seems to embody the damsel in distress, a role that Kody appears to relish. Perhaps that very dynamic fuels their romance. The Mad Men actor and the reality star, an unlikely parallel, yet their relationship carries an eerie resemblance to certain on-screen portrayals of love and dependence. Once upon a time, Robyn dabbled in jewelry making, but she soon settled comfortably into the role of a devoted wife. Unlike those who pursue the traditional 9-to-5 lifestyle, she has chosen a different path. However, accounts suggest that when she wed Kody, she carried a credit card debt exceeding $33,000, some of which came from her lavish Victoria's Secret shopping sprees, a brand that, ironically, struggled with its own outdated ideals of beauty. In the end, Kody and his other wives took it upon themselves to settle Robyn's debts. Despite the illusion of financial security, the traditional wife's existence is not without its shadows. For one, Robyn must navigate the frustration of a husband prone to irritability and resentment. She has admitted that Kody himself sabotages their relationship at times. From an outsider's perspective, A traditional marriage can only thrive if the man at its core is a truly good one. If he isn't, the woman becomes a prisoner to the very life she once embraced, especially when the man she trusted slowly transforms into someone unrecognizable. Consider Mad Men's Betty Draper, played by January Jones, a woman trapped in a gilded cage. It wasn't only Don Draper's infidelity that drained her spirit, but the growing realization that a life without purpose was suffocating her. The characters of that era were waking up from the illusion of the 1950s ideal. And much like Betty, Robin may be confronting the unsettling reality that the trad life she envisioned isn't quite what she expected. Robin insists that she earns her own money from sister wives, making her financially independent. However, money remains a point of contention. Kody, ever the conservative spender, clashes with Robin's more open-handed approach to lifestyle upgrades. Janelle once revealed that during their spiritual union, Kody was the household's financial gatekeeper. Perhaps Robin now finds herself subconsciously seeking his approval before making purchases, an outdated power dynamic she might be struggling to shake off. Yet, cracks in her contentment are hard to ignore. If Robin truly felt fulfilled, why did she reportedly spend $70,000 on dolls from Etsy? A peculiar purchase, but one that hints at a deeper emotional void. Many shopaholics seek comfort in spending, yet the escape is fleeting. Is Kody indulging her out of guilt? Or is Robin trying to fill an unspoken emptiness in her heart? Meanwhile, Kody himself is a man unraveling. The confident patriarch has given way to someone visibly exhausted, burdened by the weight of his own choices. The loss of his son, Garrison Brown, has left a profound scar, one that no amount of control or tradition can mend. Trauma has a way of reshaping a person, and Kody is no exception. He was once the cheerful leader of the family. Now, he is a man haunted by grief and an uncertain future. Robin may have expected a blissful monogamous life, but what she's getting is far from the fantasy. The truth is, depending solely on a man is always a gamble. If the foundation crumbles, what remains for the woman left standing amid the ruins? The traditional life offers comfort, but only when the structure holds. And for Robin, that structure seems increasingly unstable. Meanwhile, Janelle has carved out her own path, launching TF Farms, a striking resemblance to Mad Men's Peggy Olson, who, under Joan Harris's influence, forges her own way with bold determination. Then there's Mary, once naive and wide-eyed like Trudy Campbell, now evolving into a woman with sharper edges, determined to redefine herself. Robin and Kody's 1950s-inspired fantasy may no longer fit the reality they live in. The dream of Coyote Pass lingers, but will it be their salvation or their last illusion? Perhaps a shift is coming, one that might change the very dynamics of Sister Wives. With Season 19 unraveling the darker sides of Kody and Robin's relationship, could Season 20 shift the spotlight onto Christine, breathing new life into the show? Kody had nearly 2 decades to share his story across 4 marriages. Now, he and Robin stand alone, their past looming over them like shadows refusing to fade. Negativity, darkness, it clings to them. And even Robin, once secure in her chosen path, may now be questioning whether it was ever truly hers to begin with. Kody has been openly criticized for his unpleasant disposition, and tensions surrounding Coyote Pass continue to simmer. While Kody and his former wives disagree on what should happen to the land, he refuses to sell it, despite Janelle and Mary owning stock, ensuring that no one but him stands to benefit. He holds the power but seems reluctant to make a decisive move, dragging things out as time passes. Meanwhile, his insistence that his devotion to Robin is the reason for the growing divide between him, his ex-wives, and even his children raises questions. Could there be more to the story than what meets the eye? If the focus of Sister Wives were to shift toward Christine, a more vibrant and optimistic presence, it might breathe new life into the show. Christine's journey has taken a remarkable turn. She's happier than ever, settled into a fulfilling life, and bringing a refreshing energy that could revitalize the series. In stark contrast, Kody and Robin seem to be at odds with everyone, even themselves. While reality TV thrives on drama, the repetitive nature of these conflicts makes them feel stagnant. Kody never truly acknowledges his faults, choosing instead to play the victim, whether with his long-suffering ex-wives or even his own children. His unwillingness to confront his ingrained issues suggests that these tensions aren't going away anytime soon. If anything, they seem to be spiraling further into unresolved chaos. On the other hand, Christine's transformation has been nothing short of inspiring. She stands as a beacon of happiness and courage, proving that chasing one's own joy is possible. If Sister Wives were to center on her in a potential season 20, the show could gain a newfound sense of positivity, motivation, and warmth. Currently, Kody does little more than stir up negativity, making him an increasingly difficult figure to admire. Christine, however, radiates joy. Alongside her boyfriend David, she's embarking on exciting adventures, expanding their Airbnb business and embracing a life filled with possibility. Their stunning rental property in Moab, Utah, nestled among towering red cliffs and scenic hiking trails, reflects the beauty of her new chapter. Even her son, Peyton, can't help but praise her, reinforcing the loving and wholesome relationship she shares with her children. At the same time, Janelle, the family's ever-determined workhorse, is forging her own path with a new business venture, TF Farms. She exudes the same boldness as iconic figures like Mad Men's Peggy Olson and Joan Harris, unafraid to carve out her own future. With one chapter closing and another unfolding, the question remains, will Sister Wives embrace this shift and move toward a more uplifting narrative, or will it remain trapped in the cycle of Kody's unresolved conflicts? One thing is certain, change is in the air. With her new husband, David Woolley, Christine Brown is walking a very different path. Once known for her sweet, almost naive charm, reminiscent of Mad Men's Trudy Campbell, played by Alison Brie, Mary has undergone a transformation. Now, she exudes a newfound confidence, a strength forged by self-improvement, and a solid relationship. Interestingly, there are certain parallels between Sister Wives and Mad Men. Robin and Kody once envisioned a traditional, almost 1950s-style life, but reality is proving to be a much harsher wake-up call. Could their long-standing dream of Coyote Pass still hold the key to their problems? Or is it just another illusion unraveling before their eyes? Regardless of whether Robin truly embodies the trad wife ideal, it's becoming evident that their story isn't the fairy tale ending they may have envisioned. A major shift could be on the horizon for Sister Wives, one that sees Kody and Robin fade into the background while Christine steps into the spotlight. If season 19 was any indication, with its explosive fights exposing the cracks in Kody and Robin's relationship, the producers might just take the show in a bold new direction for a potential season 20. For nearly 2 decades, Kody lived under the illusion of control, surrounded by 4 wives. Now, only Robin remains, but the ghosts of his past linger, haunting them both. There's a weight of negativity pressing down on them, one even Robin has openly acknowledged. Meanwhile, the battle over Coyote Pass rages on. Janelle and Mary still have their stakes, but Kody, now holding the reins, refuses to sell, clinging to the land while progress inches forward at a glacial pace. His insistence that his love for Robin is the reason his family has turned against him seems overly simplistic. The truth? It may be far more complex. If the focus shifted to Christine, a cast member with far more energy and warmth, Sister Wives could breathe new life into the series. She has broken free, rebuilt her life, and found genuine happiness. Maybe that's exactly what the show needs. A fresh perspective, a new beginning. Meanwhile, Kody and Robin seem to be waging war, not just against the world, but against each other. Drama is the lifeblood of reality TV, but their endless cycle of blame and resentment has begun to feel stagnant. Kody refuses to take accountability, always painting himself as the victim, whether with his ex-wives or his estranged children. His issues run deeper than he's willing to admit, and there's no sign of resolution on the horizon. But Christine, she's come full circle, embracing a happiness she never knew before. And if she were to become the new face of Sister Wives, the show might just find its next great chapter waiting to be written. Amidst the ever-evolving dynamics of the Brown family, one figure radiates positivity and resilience: Christine. While Kody seems to be consumed by bitterness, adding more negativity than inspiration, Christine stands as a beacon of courage, embracing happiness on her own terms. Her journey is nothing short of admirable, and with her partner David by her side, she is embarking on new and exciting adventures. Together, they are expanding their Airbnb business, recently acquiring a second rental property. Their first venture, a breathtaking retreat in Moab, Utah, is surrounded by majestic red cliffs and scenic trails, a testament to the beauty Christine has cultivated in her new life. Even her son, Peden Brown, visibly melts in her presence, highlighting the deep, wholesome bond she shares with her children. Christine's radiant joy is undeniable, her happiness infectious. But is everything as perfect as it seems? Once regarded as the fresh, new energy in Kody Brown's complex family, Robin was a firm believer in plural marriage. Her arrival reignited Kody's enthusiasm, and her youthful vibrancy stood in stark contrast to the long-standing spiritual unions he had with Mary, Janelle, and Christine. At the time, Robin wholeheartedly embraced the values of plural marriage, praising its ability to foster close relationships and provide mutual support in raising children. However, as time passed, the reality of their situation deviated from her expectations. Kody's affections toward Robin became increasingly pronounced, gradually alienating the other wives. Janelle and Christine, once integral parts of the family, found themselves relegated to the background. As the years unfolded, Robin's role transformed from being just another wife to something much more significant: Kody's closest confidant, his unwavering companion, and, ultimately, his one and only. With the other wives choosing to walk away, Robin now stands alone in the marriage, her world seemingly revolving around Kody, their children, and their secluded home life. Even her fashion choices have undergone a striking transformation. Gone are the trendy outfits she once wore, replaced by flowing pastel gowns with soft floral patterns, reminiscent of a bygone era when traditional gender roles were more rigidly defined. This shift is further reflected in their living arrangements. The sprawling, multi-million-dollar home they now reside in starkly contrasts with the shared spaces once occupied by the larger Brown family. The house, owned by Robin, is filled with her personal touches, most notably an extravagant doll collection rumored to be worth tens of thousands of dollars. As for Kody, his place within this new monogamous setup has been redefined. No longer the head of a vast polygamous household, he is now solely Robin's partner, embracing a role steeped in traditional gender norms. Robin appears content to let him take the lead, managing domestic responsibilities while he makes the key decisions. But does this arrangement truly satisfy them both? Despite their seemingly united front, cracks have begun to show. Robin has hinted at marital tensions, revealing that Kody can be quick to ignite arguments over trivial matters. Though she remains steadfast in her commitment to making their relationship work, there are clear points of contention between them, particularly when it comes to finances. While their earnings from sister wives afford them a comfortable lifestyle, whispers of financial strain persist. Robin's love for expensive possessions, particularly her extensive doll collection, has raised eyebrows, especially considering the Brown family's well-documented financial struggles. Janelle once labeled Kody the financial gatekeeper, controlling the family's funds. But what does this mean for Kody and Robin's future? As they navigate the complexities of their relationship, one question lingers. Can their redefined union withstand the weight of its own expectations? Kody's role in his monogamous relationship with Robin isn't entirely clear, but if it does exist, it may be causing tension between them. Kody is known for being financially cautious, focused on saving for the future, while Robin prefers a more carefree approach to spending. Despite the seemingly idyllic nature of the traditional wife lifestyle, it carries its own emotional burdens. Now that Kody is her only partner, Robin is finding it challenging to fully embrace this old-fashioned role. Her journey has been filled with emotional highs and lows, and she has openly admitted to moments of intense frustration. She has even hinted that dealing with Kody's actions can be exhausting. Meanwhile, Kody appears to be struggling with the constraints of monogamy. Once surrounded by the chaos of a bustling household, he now finds himself in a much quieter, more isolated setting. This drastic shift has visibly affected him, leaving him grappling with a sense of loss and lingering sadness. Additionally, his strained relationships with several of his children, particularly those from his marriages to Janelle and Christine, have only added to his emotional turmoil. The pain and anger stemming from these broken connections inevitably seep into his marriage with Robin, adding further strain to their bond. As for the future of Robin and Kody's marriage, the path ahead remains uncertain. Will they find a way to bridge their differences and strengthen their relationship? Or will the weight of their traditional dynamic prove too much to bear? One thing is certain. Robin's shift from plural marriage to monogamy has been anything but easy. For now, she appears determined to hold her marriage together. But the question lingers. Will Robin continue down this road, or will she eventually seek a different path? Only time will tell.